Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, for a moment, you're responsible for the entertainment hub of, say, a bustling sports bar, or maybe even an incredibly advanced home theater setup. You've got, I don't know, a dozen or more TVs, all potentially showing different things. How do you or your staff manage that without just a mountain of remotes or someone constantly running back and forth? The whole logistical challenge, it feels almost impossible, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And what's really fascinating here, and what we're going to dive into today, is how specialized tech steps in to solve these very specific, like high-demand problems. We're not talking generic universal remotes. We're looking at a solution really designed to simplify complex AV management, taking what could be total chaos
Yeah.
and turning it into something surprisingly manageable, almost elegant even.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into a pretty interesting partnership. It's between DirecTV and a company called HDTV Supply. Specifically, we're looking at a free DirecTV app, one that promises to centralize and simplify multi-screen control, especially for places with tons of DirecTV receivers. Our mission: uncover its features, figure out who it's really for, not just commercial, maybe some prosumers too, and explain why it's actually a significant tool, not just convenience, but strategic. You might be surprised, really, at the level of detail and control it offers. So let's get right into the heart of it. The problem this app solves, you mentioned it, but what is that core headache when you're dealing with dozens, maybe hundreds of DirecTV boxes in a sports bar on game day, beyond just, too many remotes?
Well, the fundamental issue, it's often about identity and speed. In these commercial settings, like the sources mentioned, hundreds of commercial installations in sports bars. It's about being able to uh, control multiple DirecTV receivers quickly. Think about it, right? Customer asks for a game. That game's on receiver 7, feeding TV 12 out on the patio. Meanwhile, another game's needed on receiver 23 in the main dining room. Without a clear system, you're not just fumbling for the remote. You often don't even know which remote goes with which TV. And then remembering the channel, it just cascades into inefficiency.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes perfect sense. The mental load alone sounds exhausting. So if that's the problem, where does this app start bringing order to that chaos? What's the first step it takes?
It starts with something that sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Custom receiver naming. The app lets you quickly identify receivers with custom names. So instead of just receiver 1, 2, 3, you label them bar TV left, patio screen 3, booth 12, whatever makes sense for your layout.
Ah, I can immediately see the convenience there, day to day. No more guessing, but maybe thinking a bit deeper. Beyond just ease of use, how does custom naming impact things like staff training, especially in a high turnover place like a bar, or maybe even troubleshooting when something goes wrong?
That's where the real impact is, exactly. For staff, it just flattens that learning curve dramatically.
Yeah.
A new hire can get up to speed way faster if they're told, put the Lakers game on corner lounge screen. Much easier than, okay, find remote 17, punch in 206. It really boosts operational clarity, reduces stress, minimizes mistakes during busy times. And for maintenance, if patio screen 3 goes down, technicians know exactly which receiver to check first. Streamlines diagnostics. It's a real efficiency multiplier, you see.
That's a great point about those hidden efficiencies. Okay, so you've got everything named clearly. What's next? How does the app give you that big picture view? What's happening across all those screens?
That leads right to the unified TV status overview. With just one glance at your tablet, you can see what's playing on all your TVs from one screen.
Hmm.
Imagine walking in and instantly knowing. Bar TV left has baseball. Patio screen 3 is on the news. Dining area east has soccer. No more walking around flipping inputs. You get that bird's eye view instantly.
That really does sound like an aha moment for anyone managing a venue like that. Operational awareness. It's not just about changing channels, it's understanding the whole setup at a glance. How does that real-time view change how a manager makes decisions during a busy night?
It's transformative, honestly. In that kind of fast-paced environment, this overview lets you manage proactively. A manager sees a popular game ending soon. They can quickly decide what to put on next, maybe on an empty screen. They can respond to a customer request immediately without having to go check what's playing somewhere else. That speed, it translates directly into better customer service, a more adaptable venue. It just gets rid of the guesswork. Allows for, like, strategic content placement.
Right. Speaking of strategic content, for sports bars, restaurants, those live sports schedules are everything. How does this app handle that? Does it integrate that critical info?
Oh, yeah. And this is where the sports schedule access becomes a genuine game changer, especially for that target commercial audience. The app lets you view all current and upcoming sports schedules. So staff can easily see what games are on, when they start, what channels, all inside the same app they use for control.
That's huge. Seriously, it's not just finding the game, it's planning for it. What kind of edge does that integrated schedule give a place compared to competitors maybe still using paper schedules or, separate websites?
It's a big advantage, both for planning and customer experience. Venues can map out their day's content precisely, make sure no big game gets missed. And maybe more importantly, when a customer asks, hey, is the F1 race on later? Staff can confirm instantly, tell them when, maybe which screen it'll be on, even line it up. That elevates the experience, right? It's not just watching a game, it's feeling catered to. Builds loyalty,
Wow.
reduces those missed opportunities, and really boosts the venue's reputation as the place for sports.
That level of planning, yeah, that's impressive. Now, what about those times you need to change a whole section? Not just one TV, but maybe all the screens in the main dining area need the same channel now.
That's exactly what the group receiver control is for. It gives you the ability to group receivers to change multiple TVs at once. So
Yeah.
you want all the main bar screens on the playoffs, or all the patio TVs switched to the news. You can group them, then change them all with a single tap.
Okay, so beyond just convenience, what does that mean for, say, crowd control or reacting quickly to something unexpected, like a major breaking news story or a really exciting play you want everyone to see?
It's incredibly powerful for those dynamic moments. Imagine half the bar is watching one game, the other half another. Suddenly, overtime's announced, or there's a huge news alert. With group control, boom, you can sync up a section or even all the screens to that critical content instantly. Allows for that unified viewing experience when you need it, can really amplify a shared moment. Or just pivot the content quickly to match the room's mood. Takes response time from minutes down to seconds, crucial in a live setting.
And who gets to use this? Is it just one manager with one tablet?
No, not at all, and this is a key operational place. Centralized multi-receiver management. This allows any employee at your bar or restaurant to control multiple receivers from a single device. So you can have multiple staff members, each with a tablet managing screens, or maybe one dedicated person. Huge flexibility.
Right, so it reduces that single point of failure, allows delegation. Does that bring up any questions around maybe system security or accountability,
Yeah.
knowing multiple people have this control?
That's a fair point. Now, our sources don't detail specific user access levels, but generally, with centralized control, system admins can usually manage who gets access and maybe what functions they can use. So that adds a layer of accountability often missing when you've just got a dozen loose remotes floating around. Plus, it means less training on fiddly remotes, more focus on actual service. It's about empowering staff, but keeping things organized, auditable.
Very insightful. Okay, and just to round out the features, what about just basic channel surfing, finding something to watch?
It streamlines that too.
Mm.
You can channel surf using the DirecTV programming guide right in the app, much like a normal remote, but you've still got that big picture overview handy. And maybe the most immediate, tangible win for managers. Remote control elimination. It literally removes the need to use remote controls to control the receivers.
Ugh, the promised land. No more lost remotes, beyond just, less clutter.
What are the hidden gains there? Maintenance, device security, even just the perception of being a more modern, slick operation.
It's actually more profound than just tidiness. Maintenance-wise, think of the cost and hassle. Replacing lost, broken, sticky remotes. A large venue probably spends hundreds a year just on those. Security. Fewer physical things to get lost, stolen, or misused. And visually, yeah, it instantly makes the place feel more professional. Staff aren't fumbling with old plastic things. They're efficiently managing everything from a sleek tablet. It signals, a modern, well-run place. Small change, big ripple effect on cost and brand image. So if we tie all these great features together, the bigger picture here isn't just convenience. It's really a potential overhaul of operational efficiency and a much better customer experience. On game day, how fast and accurately staff manage those screens, that directly impacts service, customer satisfaction, getting the right game, right screen quickly. That's huge.
It raises an interesting question, doesn't it? How often do we overlook the power of specialized software, especially free stuff like this? Overlook how it elevates hardware and solves these real-world logistical problems strategically.
It really is a testament to targeted innovation. These niche solutions, they often hit pain points that general consumer tech just can't. The cumulative effect of these little improvements, naming, group controls, the overview, it adds up to a massive boost. Productivity, customer goodwill. It really highlights that true innovation often means refining existing systems for specific high-value users. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes you think about those invisible technologies, keeping things running smoothly. But for our listeners thinking, okay, sounds great, how do I get this? There's a bit more to it, right? More than just downloading an app. especially for those bigger, more complex setups.
Indeed, yeah, this is where understanding the system setup is really key. Our sources clarify the DirecTV app we've discussed is a separate free app from DirecTV directly. Okay. But for the more sophisticated setups, it often works with HDTV Supply's Wolfpack Matrix switchers and their own app.
Ah, Wolfpack Matrix switcher. Okay, quick detour. For listeners maybe not deep into AV system design, what are those exactly, and why are they important here?
Absolutely. Think of a Wolfpack Matrix switcher as like the ultimate traffic cop for your video signals. It's the hardware backbone. It routes different video sources, your DirecTV boxes, sure, but also Blu-ray players, media servers, digital signs, routes them to specific screens, and any combination you want. So DirecTV on TVA, Blu-ray on TVB, local ads on TVC. The Matrix switcher handles that physical signal routing.
Got it. So DirecTV app controls what the DirecTV box is showing, and the Wolfpack app presumably controls where that DirecTV signal or any other source actually goes on which screen. Sounds like a two-app system then. How does that feel for the user managing a complex setup?
You've nailed the crucial distinction. The DirecTV app allows you to change channels.
Yeah.
So you must go back and forth between this free DirecTV app and our free app, the Wolfpack app, to completely control your system. Your tablet will show two apps. So for full control, choosing the source for a screen and then changing the channel within DirecTV, you are indeed toggling between two dedicated apps on your tablet. It's not one single interface for every source if you use their matrix system, but it's two powerful apps working together, each doing its specialized job, a pragmatic way to handle different functions, really.
That's a critical detail for anyone planning this.
Oh.
Okay. And speaking of specifics, compatibility, any big limitations listeners need to know about? What equipment does this DirecTV app actually work with?
Absolutely, and this is vital. This system only works with DirecTV. It will not work if you have other equipment like cable boxes, Apple TVs, etc. Really important to grasp that up front. If your setup is a mix of providers, the DirecTV app won't be your universal channel changer across all those different sources, only the DirecTV ones.
Okay, so what if someone does have that hybrid setup? Some DirecTV, some cable, maybe streaming sticks. Is there a workaround, an alternative?
Yes, and the source actually offers one. They advise, just call us at 833-WOLFPACK, 833-965-3722 for our alternate solution if you have that mixed gear, which shows that while the DirecTV app is specific, the wider system provider, HDTV Supply, they get it. They know EV environments are varied. They likely have other tools for those mixed setups. It's about finding the right tool for your specific mix.
Practical advice, always good. And finally, for anyone interested in getting this DirecTV app, what's the process? Where do you actually get it, and what should you double check?
Key thing, you get this directly from DirecTV, not us. That's important. Shows DirecTV themselves are behind this integration. And crucial advice for you, the listener, if you're looking at this for a commercial install. When getting a quote from DirecTV, make sure that the free DirecTV tablet system is in their quotation. Get it explicitly included in the service plan. Don't just assume it's standard or that every installer knows about it for every package. Clarity up front saves so many headaches down the road.
Absolutely. Clarity from the start, essential for integrated systems. Now, speaking of the bigger picture, there's an interesting point in our sources. Touches on a common question, I bet, especially with all the changes in streaming, sports broadcasting. Lots of headlines lately.
Indeed. Yeah, you've probably seen the headlines, YouTube TV buying the NFL Sunday ticket rights. And yeah, that's true. For a big part of the market, huge news. Made a lot of people wonder about DirecTV's future, especially for sports.
But there's a critical distinction here. Our sources make it crystal clear. And it often gets missed in the general news. YouTube TV's NFL ticket rights are only for homes, not for sports bars.
Yeah.
That is a massive clarification. What does that mean, practically, for sports bars? For DirecTV's place in that market?
It creates this really clear market segmentation. For commercial venues, especially those over 600,000 sports bars, and like in the USA, the source mentions, DirecTV's position as the main, often only provider for the full NFL Sunday ticket. It remains unchallenged. So despite the consumer market shifts, these businesses will not change their DirecTV service for that specific, vital content. DirecTV keeps its specialized dominance in a high-value sector, one that needs different licensing, different delivery.
That's a fantastic point on market segmentation. Really puts this app in context, too. Seems to highlight how resilient these niche markets can be, even with huge industry shifts happening. Why do you think sectors like commercial sports viewing aren't just swept away by consumer trends?
Well, it's usually a few key things. First, licensing, like I mentioned. Commercial rights. Different beast entirely. More complex, more expensive than residential. Second, infrastructure. Big venues often have solid satellite or cable setups already, built for reliability, multi-screen stuff. Streaming can struggle to match that at scale without big investment. Third, the business model itself. Sports bars sell an experience, right? That often depends on having all the games reliably simultaneously everywhere. Different proposition than one person at home. This app we've been talking about, perfect example of DirecTV refining its offer, solidifying its value in that specific high-demand commercial space. The source even recommends customers contact a local DirecTV installer to discuss the implementation, reinforcing that targeted approach.
So whether you're managing dozens of screens in a busy place, or maybe you're just fascinated by how tech streamlines complex stuff, or even just curious about market niches, this deep dive showed us how a specialized free app working with dedicated hardware can bring order to multi-screen chaos. It gives you that centralized, intuitive control over DirecTV receivers via an iPad, super useful for commercial installs, cuts down remotes, gives quick oversight. For you, the listener, maybe consider this. In a world that's getting more complex, more screens everywhere, how much value do you put on systems that simplify control, systems that give you that unified view of everything? And how often do these quiet, powerful, niche solutions like this DirecTV app for sports bars just subtly power entire industries, industries most of us barely think about day to day? It's a reminder, I think, that really effective tech often solves very specific, high-stakes problems with elegant, targeted solutions, making the impossible seem, well, manageable.
Indeed. Yeah, the elegance of a well-designed interface, a really targeted solution. It can be genuinely transformative. Makes you think about those invisible technologies that just make the modern world work smoothly. Even the most dynamic places, there's real power in a focused solution that truly gets the unique demands of a specific user, enabling efficiency, enhancing experiences, often in ways we just take for granted.